A big Wednesday night on the hardwood. I'm Pete McCarthy here for OddsShopper. We're looking at no house advantage. If you want to play against the house, you can hit up to 21 times your entry. Hey, give us a like, subscribe, keep up with all of our shows, our DFS offers, our giveaways. Also, be a Hall of Famer, a stochastic Hall of Famer by changing your avatar on DraftKings and FanDuel. You go to stochastic.com/avatar. Throw it up on No House Advantage as well for fun. I always think that it intimidates the competition, but, I guess we can't necessarily prove that. All right, so let's look at No House Advantage and some top picks tonight. One guy I'm looking at, Anfrenee Simons, who's been on fire for the Portland Trailblazers. We're looking at over 3.5 3-pointers. Three-pointers usually not my favorite line to look at. I prefer the points, and then assists is how I'd rank it. Then three-pointers and probably rebounds being last. But with Simons, we have him projected for over 4 3-pointers tonight. 61% chance of this one coming in. If you want to see the numbers for yourself, they're free. Stochastic.com, NBA, free data, and check out the No House Advantage projections. But Simons has really been letting it rip from deep of late. He's hit at least 5 threes, or exactly 5 threes in his case, in 4 of his past 6 games. So he's on a bit of a heater. He's feeling it from deep. The Blazers have been feeling it from deep in general. So we're looking at the over on 3.5 3-pointers for Anfrenee Simons tonight. No House Advantage, check out the link below. If you haven't signed up, do it. They got a $50 first match deposit bonus that you can take advantage of if you use our link. What I like about No House Advantage is there's a ton of overlay in the Pick'em contests. That is something that you can take full advantage of. They have a huge contest coming up on Christmas. It is $20,000 to first place, and it's going to be 2,400 entrants. I think that's going to be one that you want to keep an eye on in the days ahead. Of course, 1,200 entrants tonight, $10,000 first place. Nothing to sneeze at either if you want to check that out for tonight. And obviously what we're looking at here is if you want to play versus the house, and you can hit 20 times your entry, 21 times your entry, and you include your entry as part of that. But you can mix in some NFL, some NHL, all kinds of props up there. And, of course, obviously NBA. I think NBA is generally the most projectable sport. And we have the free projections for you over at stochastic.com to help you make some really good decisions there. Another one I'm looking at, there's not a ton of correlation, or not as much correlation in the NBA as what you have in, say, the NFL, where obviously the receivers are dependent on the quarterback, vice versa. It's easy to go under on a team's passing game, whatever it might be. The NBA, it doesn't work quite that way, but when you see 2 highly projectable props that are in your favor and they link up a little bit, it's something to take advantage of. So we're looking at the Dallas Mavericks in this case. Luka Doncic, 61% chance of him being under 8.5 assists tonight. Now, if you're taking the under on Luka, you probably won't get bailed out again by him being ejected as he was last game, but he's been right around this number. We projected for under 8 assists here, so I don't think this is a monster play all on its own. But what I like is, hey, you can go under on Luka Doncic. The projections tell you you're in the plus here. And then you can look at his teammate Spencer Dinwiddie. The over-under line on him is 16.5 points. And Stochastic likes the under here. So you can go under on assists for Doncic, under on assists for Dinwiddie. And they correlate in a couple of ways, right? You could get a game that just doesn't have a lot of scoring, doesn't have a lot of pace. You could get a game where Luka Doncic does all of the scoring, and Spencer Dinwiddie is distributing or not involved in touching the ball quite as much, which is probably the most likely outcome of what we're looking at here. So you have a couple of different ways for both Doncic to be under with assists and Dinwiddie to be under in points. The projections like all of this. Look, Dinwiddie did score 20 points last game, but a lot of that came after Doncic was ejected and when Doncic wasn't on the floor. So I think this is one you could look at and feel pretty good about. And this is what you're trying to take advantage of, right? It's hard to go 5 out of 5 and get everything right and try to get 20 times your entry. But if you can link 2 of them together, and if one wins, you're likely to get the other as well, that's a plus. That's going to really help us get to 5 out of 5. It's one less thing that we have to get right. So that's why I like this. I like linking these 2 together, and they're over that 60% mark that I'm usually looking at in terms of the projections. Those are the ones I'm going to break down and focus on. If it's under 60% chance of something coming in, I usually don't like to play it a whole lot. But that's why, the projections are great, and it really gives you the lay of the land in terms of what you're looking at. Get access to all of our betting experts at OddsShopper and Stochastic. It's in our premium Discord. You can click the link below and then use that link to get your first week of access for free. After that, it's just $9.95. You get access to our betting experts. The first week is 100% free. More picks, more access to the people you see on the shows. It's a fun community to sweat games. Everybody's, a lot of times everybody has the same pick, and you're rooting for the same thing as the game is going on. So it can make it fun. You really get a sense for some of the personalities that are a part of this staff at Stochastic and OddsShopper. So be sure to check that out to help out with all of your betting needs. One more selection for you. I keep telling myself stay away from the rebounding. I certainly don't like to go over on the rebounds, but this number just kind of jumps off the board, and that's Mason Plumlee under 9.5 rebounds. This is 75%, which I have not seen when you're talking about playing versus the house and no house advantage in terms of our projections. And I think the reason why it is looked at as such a heavy under for Plumlee is that his playing time has been going down of late. Nick Richards has really done a nice job as the backup center for the Hornets, and he's taking playing time away from Plumlee. And you look at Plumlee over these last 3 games, he's been under this number in rebounding, and he hasn't played more than 25 minutes in any of those games, which is, below what we've typically seen from Plumlee over the course of this season. So, rebounding is so opportunity dependent. It could be volatile in a given game, obviously, which is why I tend to like to stay away from the rebounding. But if I see 75% chance of this one coming in, and I'm looking at it, and it makes sense logically, right? Just Plumlee hasn't been getting the same opportunity on the floor because Nick Richards is doing such a great job off the bench for Charlotte. We're going to look at this under at 9.5. The projection is 7.7 rebounds for Mason Plumlee. So that's something that I'm going to jump on, even if I'm trying to stay away from the rebounding in general, because it's just a little harder to predict than everything else, how the ball bounces off the rim, obviously. If you play DFS, in addition to No House Advantage, we've got a lineup generator over at Stochastic that can help you out in big-time ways. It'll give you the ability to choose between balanced builds, highly projected builds, or maybe you want contrarian ones to try to take down a big GPP. You could save or discard your lineups as you go. This is all included when you sign up for a DFS packages over at Stochastic.com. It's going to give you access to the best projections in the business. So be sure to check that out. Just another feature that's going to help you, win some of these big DFS contests that you can check out over at Stochastic.com. And as far as No House Advantage goes, hopefully we got some winners for you tonight. Best of luck.